Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at Cambridge House International Energy and Resource Investment Conference in Calgary 2013. I have with me Mr. Trevor Folk of Shoreline Energy, symbol SEQ on the TSX. Trevor, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. Good to be here.
It's good to have you. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's get the overview for our investor population out there. Please tell us.
Okay, Shoreline Energy is a Toronto Stock Exchange listed oil and gas company. Our primary properties are in Peace River Arch, Northwest Alberta, and in November of last year we stepped into Denver, Colorado and bought some world-class oil producing properties just north of Denver.
So you're a North American company now for sure.
We now are a North American company, yes.
So as you grow the company, you're the CEO, you're the man who's responsible for the growth of this company in the future. What do you think investors and our audience has to look forward to from the company as the company moves into 2013?
I would say exponential growth. It took 4 years over our history here to get to our approximately 2,000 barrels a day, and this year we're starting to grow that now by multiples by stepping into the U.S. We bought, again, world-class property with multi-year drilling inventory and much larger reserves than we've ever been working on in Canada, so we're really excited about stepping into the U.S.
Now, what do you do that's different from other energy companies?
It's really simple. We're a dividend-paying company, so we look for high-quality, long reserve life assets and low-risk development opportunities. So we're not doing high-risk exploratory work. We're simply drilling horizontal oil wells between known vertical producing wells. We have a lot of well control. We know the reservoir. We know how much oil is there, and we're just further exploiting it.
How can you afford to pay a dividend?
That is a tricky question. It is a difficult thing to do, but we've been a little bit different than our peers in how we purchase properties, the type properties we purchase. For example, every single acquisition we have done has been on a producing property that's producing cash flow the day we buy it, and we're buying properties that have oil development opportunities. There has to be oil to be drilled there.
That is a major differentiation and high caliber difference between your company and many other companies that are either small cap or micro cap in the energy sector. Am I correct?
That's right on. There's not a lot of people doing what we're doing. It's a lot of work to find those deals that have existing production and have a good return on your investment before you even drill an oil well there. And then finding properties that still have that oil to be drilled is pretty difficult to do. It takes a lot of work. Like I said, it's taken us 4 years to acquire what we have today.
So Trevor, I just want to let you know, we go to a lot of conferences, and the buzzword at energy conferences is always fracking. So tell me and our audience about fracking, and tell us if Shoreline does fracking.
Absolutely. Shoreline does frack our wells. We are drilling horizontal wells into what is a tight formation, or a rock with low porosity. So the oil doesn't flow through the rock as nicely as we would like it to. So we use what's known as hydraulic fracturing to fracture stimulate the rock. And what that does, we're using high pressure water to break the rock and create fractures in it. And when the water's broken the rock, sand rushes in to fill those gaps in the rock. And with that, once the water's drained out, the oil begins to flow into those cracks, into the sand, and the sand being much porous than the rock, and the oil flows into our wellbore much better. We get much higher oil recovery rates by doing this than we would just drilling a conventional well. For example, in Wattenberg, our U.S. assets there, we're drilling horizontal wells, and after they are fracked, with that well, we'll recover on average about 14% of the oil in that reservoir. If we did not fracture it, that recovery rate could be as low as 5 to 6% of the oil in that reservoir.
What's the overall beneficial result of fracking as opposed to drilling new wells?
Well, the fracking does occur on newly drilled wells. All of our new wells are fracked, so we drill the well, and then we go in with a completion rig and we frack it. We also evaluate some of our existing wells, whether vertical or horizontal, to see if we should shut in the well and recomplete it by fracking it. And so if we have a flow rate of, say, 20 barrels a day on a vertical well, we may go in and frack that and get 40 or 60 barrels a day afterwards.
How many wells do you have?
That's a tough question. Hundreds. It's, sometimes, depending on the property, we have a property with hundreds of wells producing a couple barrels a day, and then we have 10, 20, 50 wells that are producing high volume. So it's a tough question to answer on any one given day.
Well, I wanted to give a perception of the size of the company to our audience. What do you do in terms of revenue a year?
Well, 2012, we did about $20 million in revenue. And 2012 was an interesting year. It was our first full year after our IPO. We had extremely weak natural gas prices early in the year, which began to turn around right around July, August. So every day forward from the low in natural gas prices, we were basically experiencing record revenue, a net of any new oil drilling that we had done. So overall, I think 2012 was a great year for revenue. But I'm really excited about 2013 because now we're starting to realize the revenue from our U.S. assets, which for the most part, that production has only come online since November 1st to January. So we're really excited about 2013. Our revenues will be significantly greater than 2012, and looking forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a website now. You may want to get your pencils out. Website, please.
www.shorelineenergy.ca.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Folk of Shoreline Energy. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is SEQ. It's on the TSX. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We're at the Cambridge House International Energy and Resource Investment Conference right here in hometown Calgary, and we're in 2013. Trevor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Shelley.
My
Appreciate
pleasure
it.
having you.